Hi everyone, welcome to our webinar about how to build a stronger relationships with our children and teenagers. So in this webinar, I'm going to explore the challenges parents have with their children and their teenagers and the ways that they can empower their connection with their teenagers. It's a very critical developmental period, the teenagehood, and we all know that there are several challenges that all parents face. And I bring like psychology backed research and examples to clarify what's happening there. So what we are going to see in this webinar, the first thing would be we will understand our adolescent development or the children adolescent development and also the psychological and developmental changes that happened in teenage years. We will find out about the common challenges that every parent face with their teenagers and also useful strategies that help us to build a stronger relationship with our teenagers. Then after that, we bring some practical examples and work together to bring them into our life. So how the adolescent brain works. So there is like a part in front of brain called prefrontal cortex. This prefrontal cortex, it's not fully developed in teenagers, and it's still developing. And prefrontal cortex is responsible for the impulse control and also decision making. So, and also there is a part called amygdala, which is like almond shape in a brain. This part also is more active in a teenagers. So this causes emotional intensity of their behaviors, and in everyday situation, they are going more into kind of fight and flight mood, and they might fight back with you. So research has found that adolescents, they are sensitive to social evaluation, and they are sensitive to rewards. So they look at outside themselves and they are seeking validation, and they look at what their peers says. And for example, they compare their peers to themselves. They compare their peers' parents with their own parents. So they do a lot of comparison, and it's very important how other people see them. So an example would be like, for example, a parent can get frustrated when see that a 15-year-old stay late at night, and then it's also like it has many consequences. It affects like the later day they wake up later, or they might wake up tired, and they don't have much energy, and they can't do their homeworks. And so those like later sleep can affect on many things later. But at the same time, the parents feel frustrated because they feel that they cannot control that. And this is normal in teenagers. And I will say the reason. First of things is they are not as good as us in impulse control. So they know that this is like maybe not, it's harmful for them, but it's still they cannot stop that. Okay, so they might need like some routines or help, kind of, or planning in advance, or like talking to them in a kind of nice way and finding ways to give a routine, for example, for their sleep. The other things is, in a brain, there are part which is related to sleep onset, the time that we want to go to sleep. So it's related to a part in a brain. In adolescent, that onset sleep time is late later than adult. So they usually, when they get like tired and sleepy, maybe like at 12 or like 1, they don't get tired, for example, at 9 or 10 p.m. They still have energy. And that comes like with adolescent body. So it's not like surprising because that's also related to their brain, but they don't always stay like that. So that's the other reason they usually want to go to sleep late. So what is important in like our relationship with adolescents? So our connection is very important. And if we can build like a strong like emotional bond with our adolescents, and also if they feel secure and if they can trust us, they can open to us. So this secure attachment usually comes from their childhood. The more they feel secure in a relationship with us, they usually more open up and they can regulate their emotions better. So they will also have fewer mental health problems, and like they have better relationship with their peers. So, what is now important? So even like if they have like secure attachment or they don't have a secure one, so it's very important that the caregivers emotionally will be available and they look for different ways to connect with their teenagers. So, and they need to shift their focus from control to connection. So instead of controlling them usually makes them to get more distance from you. So try to build that connection. But how can we build that connection? For example, imagine a father that every week they say, okay, we will have a lunch together weekly or monthly. For a coffee, we will have one morning, for example, every Wednesday morning before your school, we can go for breakfast together. And then they start opening up or talking to them. So finding some opportunities that indirectly to connect with them, that is they feel is informal and safe rather than forcing communication with them. It's like for in a relationship, they say, okay, have a date night, trying to have a kind of that routine of going with your teenager alone and have a lunch, have a coffee, or have a breakfast, something, and like talking formally about their plan for the day and things. So what communication strategies work? So try to listen more than speak. This is very important because listening that creates more bonding without interrupting them. Try to give them a space to express themselves. Try to ask open-ended question. What is open-ended questions? It means not asking the question that the answer is yes or no. Are you going to, like, for example, gym? The answer is yes or no. The other way would be, do you enjoying your gym these days? What do you like about it? Or how did you find it? So these are like open-ended questions. And also use reflective listening. For example, saying that it sounds like you are feeling overwhelmed about school. For example, when they say a story, remind yourself, how can I reflect back to them? For example, I'm hearing that you have had an argument with your friend at the school. Am I right? I'm hearing that you are sad with these things. It doesn't mean you agree with them. Maybe they bring in a story and you said to yourself, oh, this is rubbish. Why they are sad? They don't look as strong, or why they are upset. And you start giving like advices. And instead of that, it's better to repeat their stories with your own language and they feel they are heard. Oh, I can see, you're very upset with what your friends did or what your teachers did. What do you think would be the best approach to this one? What is your solution? How can I help you in this rather than kind of giving direct advice? So also validating their emotions. So it means that trying not, it doesn't mean validating emotion, doesn't mean agreeing with them, but just showing that I understand your perspective. I can put myself in your shoes and say, for example, this is painful. Okay, so this means validating their emotions. I can see you are sad because this happened. So the Gottman research has found that emotional attunement
بهتره؟
sorry, can you turn off
همون جایی که گفتمت.
can you turn off your
هم مانتین است دیگه.
okay. So the Gottman research has shown that emotional attunement is very important. So means emotional, what is emotional attunement? It means that what's happening in their world and what are they feeling. We can put ourselves in their shoes and try to empathize with them. It says that emotional attunement foster long-term connection and regulation. Instead of, for example, an example is we see them, they are all the time on their mobile phone. Instead of saying that you're always on your phone and you are not listening to me, we can say that I have noticed you have been really into your phone lately. I want to talk about this and see what's going on. Do you want to talk with me that I see what's going on? You know, for example, you are, for example, suspicious that they have found a like girlfriend or boyfriend, or they are obsessed with something in their phone or a game or something like that. You can say, yeah, I've noticed you have been really into your phone lately. Do you want to talk about what's going on that you're all the time on your mobile phone, kind of that. So the other things which is important is setting boundaries with love. So the best parenting style would be authoritative parenting, which is combining the warmth and love also with clear boundaries. So and like every relationship needs a balance between being firm and being also giving love. So the best parenting would be the parenting that has firm rules, that has routines, and they don't change it. So the consistency is very important, and the rules should be clear, fair, and consistent with their expectation. So for example, what most parents do, they try, like they are very busy with what they are doing themselves, so they don't control for a while and they give space to their children and don't put much rules, and suddenly they get frustrated when they see, oh, they haven't done their homework or they are not progressing well or something happens in the school, and then they come anxious and they start putting so many rules. So this is not consistent way. Try to have a plan, be consistent, and come with a kind of structure, some rules, and try to follow that no matter what. And also try to talk about these rules with them and also encourage them in decision making. And in this way, if they, like, for example, you say that, okay, you're using your mobile phone a lot and you're not doing your homework, okay? And instead of you yourself setting rules and like force them to follow that suddenly, you can say, you see that your homeworks are not done on time. What do you think? What can we do to help you to, better plan to do your homework? What approach do you think it works? Can you write down something that works for you and have a plan, like for this week that is coming? When are you going to do your homework? Is it like after school assigning some time, or like, during the weekend? So just teach them how they can plan in advance and how stick to that plan and then reward them when they are doing and sticking to their plan. And you also do that for yourself. Try to more kind of have a plan and routine for yourself and stick to that and show them, you see, I have written down these things and I tick the boxes. What have you done this week? Have you written like what you are going to do? Do you know what you are going to do tomorrow after like a school? What is your plan? So bring that habit of like kind of planning in advance and also themselves make some decision on that. For example, say, oh, is it going to library works for you, like after school, or if it's not, how can you not be distracted, for example, with social media and just focus for an hour or two on your homework? What is the best time your brain works? Is it like after school immediately or after getting a break? And then you want to put like just a specific time every day they follow, okay, this is the time for their homework. And if they are not following their plan, just remind them, it's 5 o'clock, you're still on a phone, comes and do your homework, for example, something like that. And so yeah, the research shows that the best parenting would be authoritative parenting, which combines, as I said, that love and warmness with clear boundaries. So yeah, this is like the example we discussed the example. So for example, saying, okay, what do you think is the best time to work on your homework this weekend? Let's discuss together how we can plan for that, or what are the things that might stop you from doing that. So the other important things in relationship with adolescents, it's repairing the rupture. In every relationship, rupture happens. So you have an argument, and it ended up bad, and they shut down, and you shut down. It's very important that recognize, acknowledge that this happens, don't freak out, and like just try to take responsibility. If you just, you think you messed up the conversation, you have been too controlling, or you think you have shouted or like, insulted them or anything like that, apologize them and try to be like humble and be a role model and reassure your teenagers that you still love them in spite of the disagreements. So this is very important. So rupture and repair, like doing that like over and over, that build resilience and secure attachment. And it is inevitable in any like relationship. Conflict is inevitable and it happens. So what matters is how we can handle the conflict. So when, for example, a mother yells during an argument, say that, I'm sorry, I lost my temper. I want us to find out a better way to talk through these things. Can we try again? And it's also the other things is it's always like a pattern. If you look at, when you have an argument with your anyone, teenagers, with partners or anyone, it's usually a pattern in that. For example, it's always either on their homeworks or that they're being late or they're being so much on social media. So it's like a pattern repeating over and over. Try to see how can you break that pattern and comes with a creative solution for that, which this is also very helpful. So what would be the takeaway messages here then and the actions that we can do? So try to be a safe place for your like children and adolescents. Be emotionally available. You don't need to be a perfect parent, but try to just be there, be reliable, be emotionally available, and try to more focus on connection rather than controlling, and quality of relationship rather than micromanaging, and to try to be curious rather than judging them. So we try to go more into their world and see what's happening with them. And also it's very important you be a good role model for emotional regulation, for openness, for vulnerability, everything that you want them to do, try you yourself be a good role model. And so consistency matters more than perfection, and try to keep showing up for your teenagers, even when it's difficult. And a small positive interaction build a stronger relationship over time. So, I want to give you an exercise and try to reflect the last time you had conflict with your teenagers. Try to think about it and see what have you discussed, and what was like the arguments over, and how you could do differently this time by learning these points. So this hopefully helps you if you, especially if you write down about like the past arguments you had, and then see what you can do better this time. Then that brings some kind of awareness on what is missing in a relationship with your adolescents. So it's very important that we implement these strategies, and which they can create lasting change in relationship with our teenagers. Thank you very much for listening. And now I stop sharing this and I stop recording.